Greetings. My name is Don White. I was born in 1949 and in 2003. What that means is for 54 years, I was without the Lord in my heart. Although the Lord was definitely influencing my life, I just didn't recognize Jesus as Lord and Savior. So the decisions I made was without God. I didn't mess up too much, but it wasn't the easiest trip it would have been if I could have had Jesus in my heart. So in 2003, Irene, my wife, she says, "Don, I'm going to go find a church." I said, "Well, good luck with that. We'll see you. Have a good time." So she went out and I believe she went to 3 or 4 different churches, came back to All Nations Church the second time. She goes, "Don, I think it's time for us to try this church called All Nations." And I said, "Okay." I promised I would give it a shot. I would go to church with you, so I went that Sunday. So that's what changed my life. In 2003, in December, I gave my heart to Jesus. It changes you. I mean, I went from trying to build everything on myself to relying on Jesus Christ to get me through things that I needed to get through. From that point on, I can't say that it's like it is a journey, and you build. You don't start off with your walk with Jesus where you ought to be, because you don't have to. You don't. With God, it's just the miracle with God is you don't have to be perfect, and He doesn't want you to be perfect, and you will not be perfect to come to Him or to serve Him, to be a part of His army, to be part of His team. Come as you are. He'll build you to what you need to be. He built me. I'm a work in progress. By all means, I'm a work in progress. But one thing that I'm going to share with you, what I feel has changed in my heart. It's a small thing, but yet to me it's an indication that the Spirit of God is within me. The Spirit of God is changing me. And I'm going to go back with tithing. That's my example. I went to church on Easter and probably Christmas when I was in that 54 years, occasionally. And when the plate was passed around, if I dug $1 out of my pocket and put it in that plate, my thought was, "Gee, that's $1 I don't have anymore." That all changed. Now I realize, and it didn't change overnight either, because I went to the Bible and I said, what does the Bible say about giving back to God? What does the Bible say? And I looked at the legalism of it in the New Testament, and I looked at the Old Testament, and I don't know what happened, but it washed over me. I know what happened. The Spirit of God came over me and says, "You know what, Don, you're thinking about this all wrong. It's all God's. God gives it to you. God gives it to you, and all He's asking for is a little bit of leap of faith to give some portion of it back." The Old Testament says 10%. That's a starting point. But now I do it with a joyful heart. With a joyful heart, I tithe, and Irene and I both tithe and give our offerings. That's not something that happened overnight. And that's not something that would have happened without God, without the Spirit of God within me. I just want to, in this time that I have, to talk to you, I just want to plead with you. If you don't know Jesus, if you do not have Jesus in your heart, it's the best decision you'll ever make. The best decision you'll ever make. You're receiving a gift of grace. God's not asking for any payment. He's not asking for anything from you other than to recognize Him as Lord and Savior. Oh, What a deal. What a deal it is. You get salvation and joy to be with the Father forever. And all you got to do is receive the Spirit of God. Allow the Spirit of God to come in within you. Accept His gift of grace. And you know what? What happens in this world? What happens in this world, that will be the worst thing that will happen to you through eternity. Unfortunately for the unbeliever, what happens in this world is the best thing that will be in their eternity. That's sad. So let's get on the joyful side. I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with you. Find Jesus. Bring Him into your heart. Let that seed grow. And just watch what God does with your life. Watch what God does with your life. That's my prayer for you.